All right. I apologize. Should have went there live. So good afternoon, everyone. Hey, my name is Hiram Figueroa. I just want to be able to reach out to you guys. And it's been a minute for a little bit, but just want to be able to appreciate everybody else as far as their support for the last close to a year. So I just want to be able to bring some things to light and more or less to educate people on today's segment. And today's segment is pretty much on the recon challenge that I was recently invited over the course of with going through these personal issues with health issues with the family and other things. But needless to say, I want to be able to personally thank the Marine Recon Foundation, supported by the Force Recon Foundation and the Recon Sniper Foundation, and to include the Sniper Foundation to be able to perform this outstanding event just today, recently, and it's going to continue on of contributing to the Recon Challenge. So a lot of people don't understand as far as the Recon Challenge is concerned. It's more or less like a marathon. So a lot of people see more or less the Ninja Games. So hey, good afternoon. How are you? Ninja Games. But let me share something with you, okay? I look at the military has created these obstacle course games that people are enthralled with American Ninja and everything else. Now, needless to say, what I want to be able to put out there is that, I was impressed and I was gladly and humbly invited to an event that really supports the special operations community. And going to Camp Pendleton was pretty much a eye opening for myself after 30 something years and going back to a an environment that brings you into light. And let me share something with you. I met the executive board members of the Marine Recon Foundation with Pep, with Marty Williams, with Bonnie, Pep's wife Charity, and retired Master Gunnery Sergeant Chris May, and especially with my buddy Josh Negron and the guest of honor, Major Capers, who I've been actually following for quite some time. So for the most part, a lot of people don't understand that this was a humbling experience. That it started at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was about 1,000 meter swim out in the ocean, and then they come back and they swim back and they put on their uniforms at rucks, and they're carrying a 50-pound ruck for 25 miles, right? To be able to complete it at the location at the basic recon school located in Camp Pendleton. But let me share something with you. I was deeply impressed by the winners, right? The winners are the Master Gunnery Sergeant and the Major. These guys are close to my age, and they smoked everyone and taught us. And let me put it to you this way: it reconfirms that it's mind over matter of how bad you want it and how bad you want to be able to do things. And they were able to. When I got to one site to the event, and I was talking to one of the students that was monitoring everything else with the tire obstacle course and everything else. I found out that these guys was just showing up, and they weren't even breathing hard, and they were just hauling ass. But you know what it taught me? It taught me to be able to re-engage with people that I've been able to support and engage in the Marine Corps. And it taught me again about the standards. But the biggest thing that it taught me about, and what it's teaching me, is able to foster relationships with people within the community that have been able to support the Gold Star families. Now, I met quite a few Gold Star family members, but I also met another Marine that we haven't talked about. His name is Eric Wright, and Eric Wright is a recon Marine, and he fought in Fallujah. So I come to find out from my buddy Josh Negron that when he fought in Fallujah, he was on a Terravan, the Humvee, and an RPG hit him straight on, and then took both of his arms. And this guy came down into the Humvee and was calmly saying, "Hey, I lost both my arms," and the guys were freaking out. So I've seen some couple of guys from the operations community with missing limbs, arms, a leg, or W amputee, but they still show up. And it was a humbling experience because they taught me about character. They re-educated me on character, and they re-educated me on the creed, on the recon creed. They re-educated me on fostering relationships and understanding the importance of what's going on. And I was proud to meet Al Sadecki. I couldn't find you on LinkedIn, but I'm calling you out, and from the Force Recon community, and there's a couple of other individuals from the Recon Sniper community. And I could tell you, man, I was pretty much humbled because guys were kicking ass. I mean, kicking ass to a point where everybody is supporting. And I got to give kudos to the wives. The wives were out there with their kids supporting the competitors all throughout the day, and they were just in it to win it. And I think that was a major event for everybody else, and it shows a sense of camaraderie, and it shows a sense of belief as well. And I want to be able to reach out to people and say, hey, man, I'm supporting even more and calling out the Marine Recon Foundation because I truly believe, as an ambassador and committed to this community for quite some time, I want to be able to give kudos to them for an outstanding job on the Recon Challenge, you know? And I really, really appreciate meeting the executive staffs, especially spending some time with Chris May, Master Gunnery Sergeant, retired from the Recon community. And he was able to educate me on quite a few things that people don't understand. And with Pep also, who's the president, we're talking about everything else that we were talking about during that time. Hey, Brett, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hello, Susan. How are you? And if you like this content, share it, like it. This content is brought to you by LinkedIn Perspective. And I have a channel that's on YouTube. Subscribe to LinkedIn. So if you like this content, share it, like it, tag it, and feel free to comment, because I only do it now for special content. And this right here, this type of content really put things in perspective. And I feel that I felt reconnected yesterday with people in the Marine Corps that retired, and people that, and I'm watching the instructors at the basic recon school in the course, and watching the guys just being with a lot of pride, a lot of testosterone, but holding the standards. Met sergeant majors, I met colonels, I met field grade officers. Hey, I got to give them kudos. If they've earned the wings, they've earned the bubble, then they got what it takes to be able to show that. Puts me in a humble experience, you know? And I want to be able to thank everyone that welcomed me and open arms and appreciate what I've been able to do. And I'll be honest with you, there's nothing, this was a long event. And it happened, you know, from 5 o'clock in the morning till 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. You know, in spite of what was going on with my personal issues and, you know, family members being sick, you know, I was able to commit and do that because it's a once in a year annual lifetime event. And I can tell you, we can learn a lot from watching these guys compete. These Marines, they were out compete. These guys were in their, you know, 50s, I think, you know, late 40s or 50s, and they were smoking everyone. They were smoking. And I saw a couple of individuals, there's a couple of recon Marines that were out 20 years and they were still competing, you know? And I really want to be able to share that with you with quite a few things, but I want to be able to give some kudos because people are saying hello. So, you know, thank you. Hello, Susan. How are you? What's happening, Dave? What's up, Doc? My son's sworn in the USMC. Witness assigned to any comments or suggestions for him. We can talk offline on that. We could give a lot of recommendations, but I can tell you, if he's on there to win it, you got to be able to, we'll talk more offline, okay? And the other thing is, hello, how are you? Hey, hello, Doc. Love your post. I'm prior Army surgeon and Dad's Marine. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let me get over here as well. I've been able to keep in touch with some of my fellow recon for the second recon. Outstanding. And we need to stay in touch with the community because, look, I can honestly tell you, thank you for this opportunity to learn more about the sharing experience. Not a problem. My whole thing right now is this, right? I'm a firm believer of supporting the organization in a lot of ways, right? A lot of people need to stay connected, especially we can learn a lot of things that's happening in the Ukraine. And I can honestly tell you this, right? When you're going around being around Gold Star families that lost their sons fighting for something they didn't believe, and they they teach you something about humility. They teach you about humanity. They teach you about the spirit of the Corps. And the thing about it is that you think you're hot stuff until you meet people within the community. It humbles you to the core, and it puts things in perspective for a lot of reasons. When you see operators that bond together and they talk about things, it brings some joy because there's a sense of community. They can talk about it, and I think that my experience being invited to the 13th Recon Challenge put things in perspective for me. It tells me about, hey, there's no quit, adapt and overcome. And watching these young kids these young Marines that are on basic recon course and learning to be, wanting to be a recon Marine teaches you how much they want to be able to commit to themselves. Going through Camp Pendleton was a humbling experience for a number of reasons. Haven't been there since I was DI. When you're a civilian out of the Marine Corps, you don't realize how big the base is. And the other thing is that when you're away from that Marine Corps environment, you don't see the intensity, or you forget how much of intensity it is to be able to be connected and all those standards. And kudos to the instructors, man. I got to give it to you. The instructors are teaching these guys, and they're teaching us about adapt and overcome. And I can tell you, as you say, Bernard, yeah, empathize, adapt, and overcome is correct. And I made it a point to commit to this, and I made it a point for others to understand that when I share something that is of content, and when I meet people that been in battle, lost their limbs, they lost a loved one, and here I'm complaining about stupid stuff, and they taught me about humility. It teaches you a lot about different perspectives. And all I gotta say is that if you want to give and donate to an organization, donate to the Marine Recon Foundation, Force Recon Foundation, and the Recon Sniper Foundation, and the Scout Snipers Foundation. Those are the guys that are really busting their butts. These young kids, they want to be able to, be something that nobody else can do. And it's that top 1% that makes a difference. I want to thank the sponsors that are out there, people, overall the base, people that are pretty much, you have to be there to be able to see that. I think next year, if you're interested in wanting to see what's going on, I suggest that you look at it next year. They're going to have it next year for the 14th year in Camp Pendleton. And you should be able to support that. And for those who are Marine, prior service in the Marine Corps, and those operators right now, I think that it's good to reconnect with the community for a number of reasons. It puts things in perspective. You don't feel like you're alone. And it teaches you a lot about yourself, where you're at in life. And for myself, I shared some things with the executive board, and I stated to them that we're thinking about, helping them create a YouTube channel for the Marine Recon Foundation, so they can see things, so they can share things as well. And the other thing is, with my friend David Diaz and myself, we're creating some business opportunities as well, virtual real estate and some other things that we're going to include the foundation in. And people who are interested, just let us know, because we have some business opportunities. We're creating some projects right there that not only going to benefit ourselves, but it's going to benefit you. And how it benefits us is that we're going to be very successful on that. And by myself and others that are participating, is giving back to society and leaving a statement, a legacy and a landmark. Speaking to quite a few Gold Star families, they taught me a lot of lessons about the reality of losing a loved one and enjoying their life. Today, they're going to be having a bonfire, and then tomorrow they're going to be going to Well, I think, yeah, tomorrow they're going to be going back to Hawaii. And in Hawaii, they're going to be able to have a serious luau, going to Paul Mitchell's estate, going and creating some, bonding committees. They've had an area where they plant trees in honor of the fallen. I could tell you this: the most humbling experience is watching the competitors cross and carrying the dog tags of the fallen, and then when they get to the finish line, they kneel and they touch the helmets. But before they touch the helmets, they take the dog tags and they put it over there over the rifle, and they say a quick prayer and touch that. That to me is the most humbling experience because that's what teammates are all about. And to me, I learned a lot about the community itself. They haven't seen each other in a while, and they've been able to connect. They've been able to talk, but they're embracing and they just say, "Hey, we're still here for you. Whatever you need, we're there for you." And that's what teammates are all about. That's what staying committed, giving a foundation to supporting a foundation that really means something. When you have a cause that really means something to you, you should be able to understand that cause to give you a purpose, and that purpose should give you a direction of giving back to society, and especially those that have been able to more or less give of themselves. So I just wanted to be able to share that with everyone. If you like this content, share it, like it, tag it. If you have any questions, feel free to text me or call me at 562-286-3111. That is 562-286-3111. It's important to be able to have a virtual town hall for individuals that can understand that. This content is specifically dedicated to the Marine Recon Foundation, and especially the Recon Challenge that took an event today as well. So I just want to be able to share that with you wholeheartedly. And for me, what I got out of this is reconnecting and getting actual support. You find yourself, and I'll call myself out. You find yourself going through a lot of challenges, and you find yourself being alone. But when you're around people that are like-minded, have the same experience, that can relate to you, it takes away a lot of the pressures and the burdens as well. And then for us, I just want to be able to share that. Yep, Marines adapt and overcome. That's right, my man. War messes up people. This is why we should do our best for world peace and strengthen our soldiers and most of our world peace. I agree. But at the same time, we should be able to support the organizations that do that. And that's the most important thing. So I just want to be able to share that with you with a lot of experience and being humble. But again, getting back to what I was saying, my experience itself taught me a lot about everybody has problems, but it's good to be around people that can listen to you, give you a different perspective, and to be able to educate you on things that you're going through. The other thing it taught me about is that when these young Marines were, doing all the dirty work for setting up the tables, watching the pools, getting the food, setting up the tents and everything else, at the end of the ceremony, they recited the Recon Creed. And it was just like being in boot camp again. And I tell you, it got me fired up. It got me fired up to a point it helped me understand that I was meant to be there and to listen to that wholeheartedly, Never above, always beside you, my brother. Yep, that's how we do it. And that's how we should be able to do that. So I'm just reading this. I'm going to let this read over here. There's substantive voice to that. I agree with you. But wow, I got a long one in this one. But for the most part, I just want to be able to share that. So today, we're going to be going to back to Camp Pendleton today. I'm going to go today, take my wife over there and introduce to the community. And they're going to be having a bonfire. And that's something that you got to be there to experience it. You got to be there to experience. You got to be there to witness it. But I'll tell you this one: I'm humbled by it. I mean, it was a long day yesterday, but I'll tell you, watching the active duty Marines, the recon community competing, and they were just busting their ass, getting it done. I saw one recon Marine finishing the last leg of the ruck in crutches, and I could tell you that taught me a lot about character again. I saw another one in the pool, right? He was just bobbing up and down, but his legs were cramping up, but he was still doing it. Another one, lost his ties. He came back out of the pool, came back in and dove back in. And that's what I needed to see for my own experience, because you think you're tough, but you need to be around people that more or less confirm of how tough they are to be able to strengthen you to get you up to that level. Sometimes you think you're tough, but there's someone tougher than you that can be able to mentor you just by their actions. And then I tell you, for us, it was a humbling experience. I couldn't even explain it even more. And I believe that moving forward, we're going to be able to do quite a few things. But again, if you like this content, share it, like it, tag it. This broadcast podcast is brought to you by LinkedIn Perspective. It's a channel that I created almost a year ago. If you want to subscribe and copy this link, because this is on LinkedIn Broadcast Live, but a YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel and then copy that link and share it. If you have any questions, feel free to do that and tag it. I'm more than happy to explain it. But the moral of the story, this content is really supporting a nonprofit organization that I truly believe in, and it's a fit for me. Some nonprofits are good for others, but I can tell you that for us, we need to be able to show our appreciation. Let me go with a couple of them. I thought I've been in addiction 90 days. Wire your mind. Correct. Let me see what else do I got here. Excuse everything else. We use our strength to get rid of our homelessness and make sure the good paying jobs have been active American dream. I agree with you. That's great. So they would appreciate a pen pal, right one. Yes, they do. That's why it's active duty people. It's on there. Give anyway English. Okay. We'll see what happens here. Bernard. Hey, anytime, brother. It takes somebody for a community to understand what's important. But the biggest thing I want to be able to share is I'm donating, I'm doing this segment in dedication to the recon community. And I love this aspiring. I love it. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome. Mariel, how are you? I'm in the Army, but it's always good to learn about the brothers, sisters. Yeah, it's good. I get it. We're all related as cousins, but we need to be able to understand that. But as I promised for the community, I decided to do something so they can get some kind of idea of how people, someone like me can be influential to a point, and to be able to, share the experiences with others, to be able to, put something out there. If no more thank you for your service. If you really care, donate. If you really care, seek out the website. If you really care, do something that's going to be a lifetime, long-lasting experience, and do it because you want to, not because it's fun. Don't say because I donated, I should be a part of it. I think it's more of a commitment. What I learned from Bonnie, who's the executive director yesterday, who I finally met first time, FaceTime, face to face, is that there's a lot of stuff that is going on. Yesterday, in the morning, I found out that there was like 46 flights, and there's rental cars, there's places that they were doing, and this is an ongoing event. This is something that's pretty much dedicated to the fallen, right, and to the community. And I took it very seriously, because there's a lot of work behind the scenes, and for other organizations that are tied into the community, right. I saw some guys that were Force Recon from 1957, 1960, 1970, and I saw some guys that were out 20 years ago and they still come out there. It taught me a lot about staying connected with something that you believe in, staying connected that you are part of, that you supported, whatever it is, it's important. And for the Gold Star families, you can never replace the loved one, but you can actually support and should support them to a point where people should understand that. And I think that until you lose a loved one, especially your sons in battle, it's going to change your perspective of how things should be. And then I really, really want to be, I want to emphasize how humble and grateful I am to be able to be part of this. And the only way I can start doing is giving back. And as I stated, in the future, we're going to do some things for the foundation as well. And we're looking to do some things that are probably going to blow some people's mind. But I dedicated a lot to other foundations, but this one's near and dear to my heart. And you know, in this foundation, people have, I call it other jobs, but the biggest thing is that they're willing to do things. And let me see what I got here, Bernard. It's far more than high speed stuff. It keeps us together. Roger that. That is. And Bernard is a former operator. It's this very strong commitment. We do regular buddy checks, and believe me, they are far worth more than words. That is correct. And everything else, let me see what I got here. I'm gonna let everybody read this. Didn't understand. Brothers cannot accept. Trying task feels unappreciated. Those brothers didn't understand the facilitators were going to quit, and they did not understand the purpose of exercise. We're going to succeed. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I want to again thank the executive board. I'll start with Pep and his wife, Charity, Chris May, Bonnie, Marty Williams, who's the treasurer, my buddy Josh Negron, Major Capers. It's like the second time I get to see him. Guy's a character. 84, he's going to be 85 years old. And living legend, man, last of the real legends. And I tell you, when he stood up and gave a speech, everybody was in awe, because this is a man that went to Vietnam, was battle commissioned, was a congressional, two-time congressional Medal of Honor recommendation. And I'm just glad that I was able to be part of that experience. And these are the untold stories that need to be said and need to be heard, because you won't see it on a regular channel. Some people think is too much. It's not real. It's not sensational. The Marine Corps is sensational in a lot of ways. There's a lot of standards. And I'll tell you what, after watching the humble experience today, man, of the instructors and the Marines that are wanting to be that and pushing it out, and so it shows me the sense of urgency and the sense of commitment. And being around the whole organization, the foundation, it taught me that real people really care. And man, I got to give kudos to the wives, man. The wives and the kids supporting their husbands out there competing, wearing their shirts and everything else. It's speechless. I've seen little kids wearing, toddlers wearing the Recon Foundation. Those are, words that you can't even express, right? And we continue to be too busy for ourselves. So I just wanted to share this small segment, and I'm sure there's going to be more. If you like this content, share it, like it, tag it, subscribe to LinkedIn Perspective on YouTube channel. And for the, if you want to donate, right, show a cause, donate to the Marine Recon Foundation. You can look it up online. You can donate to the Force Recon Foundation. You can look it online. You can donate to the Recon Sniper Foundation, look it up online, and the Scout Sniper Foundation as well. This is not to exclude the Marine Raider Foundation and the Marine Raider Challenge, right? So the Marine Raiders, the MOSOC community was created back in 2006 by Recon Marines. So we're two separate communities, but we still are one. And so those are the foundations in the communities I totally support 100%. So if you really care about something, look it up. I'll be posting more about the committees of what's going on, and I'm posting more about what we're going to do. And the other thing, as I stated before, my buddy Dave Diaz, who's a Marine, he's living in Chicago, and myself, we're creating a business venue. If people are interested in that and virtual real estate and others, and it's pretty much legit, reach out to us. That's going to be another talk show pretty soon. But most of the proceeds, once we do this and we create this business venue, we're going to create something for the foundation as well. And that's going to be strictly for the foundation itself. I don't take any money from them. It's all about creating something to give it back to them so they can have it for their own. And I think that's my commitment. And I think for me, it has helped me deal with a lot of my personal issues, because meeting Eric Wright, guy's like 6'3", 6'4", lost both of his arms. The guy had multiple issues with PTSD and Battle of Fallujah. Taught me a lot about myself, and he's been able to have the same treatment as I did from Stella Gallion blockage. And kudos to Doc Shauna Springer, who's been sponsoring both of us. We're going to do something as well, because I believe that no amount of money in the world can, more or less create a relationship that's long lasting. You can't put a price on that. You can't put a price on community. You can't put a price on loyalty. You can't put a price on, standards. And that's what I want to be able to share with you. So again, if you like this content, share it, like it, tag it. This broadcast is brought to you by LinkedIn Perspective. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get the subs. Share this content. This is in dedication to the Recon Challenge for the Recon community. Kudos to Camp Pendleton. Kudos to the Marines out there that supported us. Kudos to the sponsors that are out there as well. And kudos to the commanding officer, the commanding general as well, that oversee the support. And I can honestly tell you, I'm speechless, but I'm really fired up on this. And I believe I needed this for myself. I can honestly say I needed this for myself to commit, because when you're out by yourself and you're doing things by your life, you forget to stay tight with the community, and people can hold you for your standards. And I can honestly say that it's important for others to understand that staying committed and accountability is the biggest thing, because it helps you get through stuff and you're not by yourself. And the horror stories that I heard also, that, there's been some couple of other people in the community that have taken their lives for themselves. That we have some quiet programs that Bonnie has shared with me when we were at the pool, to help the guys in the community go through their challenges that had misfortunes. And nothing is pretty much, nothing is pretty much out of the ordinary. I mean, there's some stories that we need to be able to share with. And what you got, Bernie? You never cut the buddy line, correct? And that's what I'm talking about. And that's the biggest thing that I learned about being in the community, is that these guys are, every year they come back, but they talk about and they re-engage. And man, it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about where I'm at. And it taught me a lot that I need to be able to push out. Just hearing the creed and hearing the commitment, dedication, overcome and improvise and everything else taught me that, I've been too soft and I've been too comfortable in my own lifestyle for the last 10, 20 years. And having that experience again just told me to step it up and level up for a number of reasons, right? We get too comfortable, we get ourselves killed. And when we have adversity as well with challenges, we don't know where to go to, but you got to be able to find some counsel or foster a relationship or be part of the community that can help you go through this process, that can talk you through it and teach you quite a few things about what's going on about your situation. Also, you can learn more about yourself, especially when you're going through that, because then you're hearing it from a fresh set of eyes, from a fresh set of ears, and people that are relatable and people that can really hold you accountable for a number of reasons. It's accountability because they care. It's not accountability because they don't care. It's accountability because you care. So what I learned from yesterday, accountability is high, and spend some time with major capers. It's funny. Guy is 85 years old. He's sitting there watching everything. He's telling me, I'm taking it all in. This is a man that's been in Vietnam, and I've been talking to him and everything else, and sharing what needs to be, shared, and just experiencing somebody that's in there for quite some time. And I believe that we can all learn from that situation, you know. And let me see what you got, Bernie. When I feel down, I remember the 10 general orders apply. That's right. And the creed and the oath. That's correct, man. That's what I learned. That's what I learned. That's what fired me up yesterday. You know. You're welcome, Bass. You're welcome. I mean, again, I just want to stress the importance and the attitude of gratitude for being part of an organization. And you know, I met the treasurer, Marty Williams, right, financial guy, has been able to take the finances and help the foundation grow to a point where people are paying attention. And with Pep and his wife Charity that came from Hawaii means kids, you know, it's great because it's more or less they want to set a foundation and they want to set a standard that can be passed on to the next president. And for Master Gunnery Sergeant Chris May, who is the founder of Brother Recon and has done a lot of things for the community. And the guy is tall, dude. The guy is tall. He's built like a wall. It's like a freaking, I'm not being mean, man. The guy's like big. He's like a lineman. And I was like, most of these guys in the community, they're freaking tall. They're like 6'3", 6'4". I'm like short, like 5'11". And they're built like brick houses. So, I'm in awe and amazement being around the same atmosphere with them and having the opportunity to have a conversation, a candid conversation, because we all met online. And it's good to have a personal validation to be able to, be accepted and grant permission to be able to do things. Because I think that after a while, when you're meeting people online, you need to be having that personal engagement. And that engagement needs to be there and needs to be sincere. So, with that being said, simplify, always beside you. If you like this content, share it, like it, tag it. Please to support the Marine Recon Foundation, the Recon Sniper Foundation, and the Force Recon Foundation, and the Scout Sniper Foundation. Those individuals foundations, they took part of the Marine Recon Challenge. And if you're interested in more about what the Recon Challenge is, they're going to be doing one next year. If you want to check it out, feel free. I think that it doesn't hurt to witness it. If you want to give and you want to donate, why don't you donate to the foundation so they could have more? We had over twice the amount of competitors, like 28 teams. And I think this is going to be bigger than anything else since the pandemic. And I believe that once you start witnessing that, you're going to be able to do that as well. And thank you, brother. Always beside you. Thank you. And I believe that when you witness this Ironman Marine Corps style competition, that's 8 hours, that's an ultra marathon. And I'm telling you that we're talking 50-pound rucksack pack, and you're carrying a rifle, and you're going to different spots, and you're doing 25 miles after a mile and a half swim, and you're in how you call it, full gear. I'm talking not athletic gear. We're talking boots, Marine Corps camis, fatigues, and everything else. And carrying it, and it's hot as hell during the afternoon. It'll be cold in the morning, but it'll be hot as hell. I can tell you that from right now. So please care. Please give. You want to witness something extraordinary? Check it out. I'm sure that the organization will welcome that. business opportunities, like I stated before. And hold on just a minute, man. Yeah, full combat gear is correct, Bernard. They don't understand full combat gear. That's 25 freaking miles, and they're humping it. And I'm telling you, the ones that won were the oldest guys. I'll be honest with you. They smoked it. They weren't even breathing hard. And you know what? They took a shower. They were just sitting there like it was nothing. That's what I'm talking about, commitment. That's what I'm talking about. And the biggest thing is that they're in active duty. So it taught me a lot about myself. It taught me that I need to step it up, even though I'm out of the Marine Corps. But being around teammates like that and the community like that, there's a standard, right? You got to be able to hold accountable. Again, I need to reiterate, as far as the foundation is concerned, I was pretty much humble about everything that's going on in the backstory with all the logistics and the planning and everything else. I was pretty much humbled by that, and we're going to continue to do that. As I stated before, we're going to be doing some business ventures, and we're going to be able to dedicate something to the foundation so they can have their own and help the Gold Star family members, to give them something so they can, we can show their appreciation, because without them, we wouldn't have anything. And without them, the fallen Marines that, they were killed in action or killed in training, those are the things that you don't understand, that how much it affects them, and it should affect you. So again, simplify, always beside you. Again, this broadcast is brought to you by LinkedIn Perspective Broadcast Podcast. If you want to subscribe to this, subscribe to LinkedIn on YouTube, share it, tag it. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. And if you have any challenges, also remember, simplify, always beside you, and never below you, never above you. We're always beside you, always with you. Peace out.